Are you ready to turn your Tampa dreams into a reality with a brand new home, with the perfect layout and that brand new home smell that, let's just be honest, nothing can beat? Well, hold the phone, delay your plane ticket, and give me your attention because we're about to dive into the world of 2024 new construction homes in Tampa, Florida, and there is a whole lot to know, so stay tuned. Coming into 2024, I am getting a ton of reach outs from you viewers with questions swirling around the topic of new construction homes in Tampa. And in today's video, I'm gonna do my best to address them. I wanna start with some crucial information you will want to know if you're planning to buy a new home, talk quickly about the process now in 2024. And if you feel like you have a pretty good grasp on stuff at the front of this video, well, fast forward a bit because I'm gonna meet with a few of the builders reps to discuss the difference between a tier 1, a tier 2, and a tier 3 home. And sprinkled in there, I'll take you into a few homes to give you a feel for what you can expect. I often get calls from you viewers and it starts something like this. I'm thinking of moving to Tampa and I want to see some new construction homes, or I like the idea of a new home, but I have no idea where to start. So let's begin there. I always suggest that we start by getting our ducks in a row. There's a lot of moving pieces, and when home shopping, it makes sense to get all the clutter out of the way so we can focus on the fun stuff like finding a home. So first, I suggest figuring out a few things. Understanding your timeline for when you want to be in a home, your finances and what you can afford. Do you have a home to sell before buying a new home? And let's better understand your lifestyle because it will help us narrow down where to start looking. Let me quickly explain why these are important. With new homes, you can sort of work backwards with your timeline because most builders will tell you what homes are available and more or less when the home will be completed. So a good example of working backwards is when someone tells me they want to be in a home in 12 months and they are looking at homes that take 9 months to build. Well, then we need to start home shopping and have everything ready to give a deposit and sign a contract in around month 3. Working alongside this, we need to have a good understanding of your finances and we need to be ready to buy a home. So for example, if you have a home to sell and your pre-approval to buy a new home is contingent upon your selling of your current home, most new home builders will not accept your deposit to start the building process until your current home is at least under contract. That means if you have a home to sell, you need to be able to afford both mortgages on paper, or we need to help you build a plan to sell your home and simultaneously buy, and you can now start to see where things can get a little sticky and some guidance can be helpful. Now let's hit that pause button there for 2 seconds because this just came to mind and it's extremely important to know. Do not start looking at new homes without having your realtor's name. If you don't have a realtor, reach out to my team and we can call the builders and schedule your appointments to see homes. But if you visit a new home model and you don't have your realtor with you, or at minimum their name, the builders can and will block you from using your realtor to represent you in the future. I have had people that I was working with for 6 months go by to see a home on a weekend without me, then decided, well, let me get pre-approved with the builder's lender. And when they told me 2 days later, it was too late. I wasn't able to represent them. And here is why it's a big deal. It doesn't cost you any extra to have a realtor. It's already built into the price of the home, and it's important to have someone in your corner as your advisor. We left off with the understanding your timeline and finances. So the next and possibly most important is diving into your lifestyle. I mean, why does your lifestyle matter when you're new home shopping? Well, it's no different than shopping for a resale home. Location matters. And it doesn't just matter for value purposes. You need to love where you live and it needs to make sense for your lifestyle. I like to know if you have kids and if schools are important. Do you work remote or do you have to drive into an office because you really don't want to commute an hour each way? Do you want shopping and restaurants nearby, or do you prefer a bit more of a rural setting? If you travel often and need access to the airport, well, that's important. And if you're military and work on base, you have to be strategic where you live. Don't go through the process of finding the perfect home and end up selling it in a few years because you hate where you live. Again, my team can help with this. Now let's talk about why new construction homes might be a great option in 2024. For starters, the market in Tampa, it's still a seller's market. There is very little inventory on the resale side of things, so new home builders are the unsung heroes, and with interest rates still above 6% and sometimes even 7%, you can get some pretty sweet deals from the builders. In the past year, I have seen offers as low as 4.75% on homes that are move-in ready. I've also seen incentives as high as $25,000 for closing costs on top of a red tag specials. And this was on homes that were $400,000 and $500,000. While I always suggest getting pre-approved with a preferred local lender, 99% of the time, you won't find better than what the builder's lender will have with these kind of offers. Another reason why new homes might be a better option than older homes in 2024 is because insurance has risen along with utilities. I currently live in a 1970s home in the city, and for comparison purposes, if my home was 2,500 square feet, my insurance could be between $4,000 to $4,500 per year, and my electric bill would be somewhere around $400 per month. This same house, brand new, would be built more energy efficient to conserve energy. And because it's built with most of the up-to-date building codes, you get all the discounts for your homeowner's insurance. One of my clients had a similar sized home and his electric bill averaged about $125 per month, and his insurance was only $90 per month. That's massive savings versus an older home. And when you add this to virtually no maintenance on a brand new home for the first 5 to 8 years, it starts to look like a nice option. Now let's touch on how a realtor can give you an advantage, and then I want to hop on over to meet with a few builders reps and show you some nice homes. For starters, I've already explained the upfront advantage of having a realtor to help you prepare for the home buying process. Next, a knowledgeable realtor will probably be able to guide you to communities and upcoming options you didn't even know about. In recent videos, I mentioned communities and new products that the builders haven't even announced yet. And you ask how? It's because I have most of the reps' phone numbers and I call them and get insider information. I have built relationships with them and I check in with them weekly to constantly stay updated on inventory, prices, and upcoming deals. While most of the time there's not a whole lot of negotiating with builders because they want to keep the home values consistent for future appraisals, from time to time, we do get access to steals because maybe a deal fell through, and because we have great communication with the reps, we're there to pick up the pieces and get that win for our buyers. After you find the home you were searching for and finally get it under contract, I always advise to hire your own inspector and inspect the home before the drywall goes up. It's important to build a relationship with the assigned project manager, then schedule a pre-drywall inspection. This is where you'll find anything that was missed with plumbing, electrical, and so on, before it gets covered up. After this point, I like to ask the project manager and the builder's rep to keep us informed of the different building stages with weekly to monthly updates. As we get closer to closing, we will do a punch-out walkthrough and have our private inspector revisit the home. Here is a nice bonus tip as well. New homes typically come with a bumper-to-bumper warranty for the first year, then 5 to 10 years partial coverage. So have your inspector revisit the home 10 months after you've lived in the home and turn that inspection list into the builder, and you can get the warranty to fix any items as things could pop up. From here, I want to take you over to see a few homes, but let's quickly touch on what I mean when I say a tier 1 and a tier 2 builder. With a tier 1 builder, we are looking at an entry-level home builder. They focus on delivering a quality home with an affordable price. Now, this builder offers the middle-of-the-road upgrades and it tries to appeal to the masses. In this category, you will most likely not get to design your home. Rather, the builder will choose the model, the lot, and the upgrades, package it all together, and price it. If it's available and you like it, then it's yours. In this tier, you can expect to get the most bang for your buck, or in other words, the largest home for the most affordable price. Builders in this tier will include D.R. Horton, Lennar, and a local newcomer, Casa Fresca. All right, so we just mentioned Casa Fresca as one of our top 3 builders at the tier 1 level. And today we have Zach from Casa Fresca actually joining us to help us understand a little bit about what they are actually delivering as far as their product. So Zach, tell these folks kind of what we're seeing with your product at Casa Fresca. What do you have within the homes? What are some of the amenities and things like that?
Awesome. Well, thanks, Adam, first off, for having me. Yes, so
Yeah,
basically with Casa Fresca, you're getting an all-inclusive home at a great price. So what we're including in that is we're going to include nice quartz, not only in your kitchen, but all throughout your house and your bathrooms. You're going to get a nice, beautiful shaker cabinet. That's going to be whiter gray. It's going to be more modern with what's trending now and people love. We're going to do shaker cabinets with a soft close. And we're also going to include luxury vinyl plank, which at some builders is an upgrade. But with us, it comes included in the price. So that's your LVP as referred to. That's a waterproof flooring, and that's going to come on your first floor and all your bathrooms.
Yeah, and even though they don't get to go and design, right, go to a design center and choose those options, I mean, you guys definitely study, what everybody's choosing, and you pick some of those upgrades that appeals to the masses and then kind of package it all together so that, the average Joe usually tends to like, what you put together. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yep. We stay today up to date with today's popular trendy items and what people love. And then we do have 3 interior designs. And a lot of time, Adam, if you come in and you love our contemporary package, I can
Yep.
find that in the floor plan you're looking for. So
Yeah. And
no doubt.
so what are you seeing? We're talking 300 to 600, 300, somewhere in that range as far as price range for these homes. What type of buyers, like what kind of, people are coming in? What's their scenario when they're coming and say, hey, I want to see a Casa Fresca home? What do you see on walking through the door?
Sure, yeah. So it's a wide range of everything right now, but to be honest with you, we're providing a great value. We're providing a beautiful home with great quality, and you're getting nice included features. So I mean, we're seeing anywhere from your first time home buyer to your buyer who's looking to move closer to Tampa and still stay under $200 a square foot. So we're in that 3 to 600K range.
I know 3 to 6 doesn't always sound as the affordable product, but being that the average home price in Tampa is, right over 400K, you're actually starting under the average price and then kind of floating in and around it depending on the size of these homes, right? Because sometimes you have like the Indigo that might have, 4 or 5 bedrooms, and you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, really kind of stretching that budget, which is nice. Now, last part here, last question I want to ask you. Folks always like to have that bonus, that icing on the cake when they're buying a house. So what are some of those incentives that you can see with a builder? And keep in mind, viewers, things always change depending on when you're watching this video. So Zach, what do you got for them like right now? And, kind of maybe, to give them a taste of what kind of incentives are out there right now.
Yeah, you bet. So incentives are subject to change at any time, but right now we have an amazing incentive going on for a limited time only. We're doing a special rate buy down that the builder's paying for that's outside the CD or the HUD statement. So the buyer don't even see this, but we're buying down to 5.25, and then on top of that, we're going to give you 15K flex cash. So if you're like, hey Adam, out of pocket cost is very important to us, we can cover all your closing costs and still give you a rate below market rate at a 5.25, whereas government loans right now you're looking at 6.25 as par. So we're buying that down a full percentage point off that.
All right, so there's some flex cash in there, lower interest rates. That makes sense in this market where interest rates, we're seeing 7+ sometimes. So, just having that nice bonus to help them get into a home, that's really nice coming from a tier 1 builder. Thanks, Zach. Now that gave us a decent feel for a tier 1 builder. So let's kick things up a notch with a tier 2 builder. But I'll also put an asterisk on things because moving up from tier 1 can get tricky at times. So let me better explain this. If your budget's, let's say, $500,000 to $600,000, you are shopping in a place where both tier 1 and tier 2 start to overlap, and you'll have to choose what's best fit for you. In tier 2, you can expect price ranges from $500K to well over $1 million, and you'll start to see the ability to customize your home with a step up in upgrades. The predicament becomes, do you choose the best of the tier 1 options, getting the most bang for your buck with square footage, or do you step up to tier 2 and get entry level for tier 2 with a slightly higher feel of upgrades? This obviously will be up to you to determine, but in many cases, I often suggest being more conservative with your budget and going with a higher end tier 1, then making the minor upgrades to customize it after the purchase. Just something to consider. In tier 2, there is a wide selection of builders and price range. Entry level tier 2 would include Pulte Homes, MI Homes, Mattamy Homes. Then you get into Homes by West Bay, David Weekley, Taylor Morrison, and more on the higher end, Biscayne Homes, Arthur Ruttenberg, and Toll Brothers. And FYI, I subcategorize these into entry level, mid-range, and upper, but that doesn't mean that you can't find a luxury MI or Pulte Homes. They actually build over $1 million also, but you'll find more options on the lower end of the budget with these builders. Also, if you're on the higher end, the 3 top builders only really build in a handful of communities. All right, folks, so we've seen what a tier 1 builder is. Let's go ahead and move on to a tier 2, and we're gonna see the difference of what we can get at this level. And I've got Jennifer with Homes by West Bay joining us. She's gonna help us understand what we can see with using Homes by West Bay as an example, which is a tier 2 builder. So Jennifer, what can they expect once we move up to that level? What kind of upgrades can we see in these type of homes?
So with Home by West Bay, we created this process that is called Creative for You. And it's pretty much a unique process that it is crafted for the customer to pick from standard options to upgrade them in the structure of the home. They can also pick finishes that are hundreds and hundreds of options in our new 6,000 square foot design center. So there's a lot of options that the customer can pick from, but also a lot of involvement that they have in the process of building their home.
Yeah, so a lot of it is really just having the ability to go to a design center, choose your options. Whereas in tier 1, we saw a lot of the builder kind of picking the lot, the structural options and everything, and then packaging it up and putting a price tag on it. And you have that with a move-in option, but now we also have the flexibility of offering, hey, let's go design our home at the tier 2 level, right? So aside from that, at the design center, what can you choose? Because I love Homes by Westbeck. When you walk in, you have these grand entrance and those big wow factor. Like, what are some of the things that we'll see at Homes by Westbeck?
So we offer a variety of stuff. We do chip labs. We do, hundreds of options of lighting, quartz in different levels, high-end appliances, beams in the ceilings. We do crown molding, tray ceilings. We have a lot of those things that are unique to the home and what the preference of the customer is.
Yeah, my favorite with Homes by Westbeck is like when you walk in, you can see all the way through the house. You can kind of see all the way through the foyer, all the way through the kitchen to the back. And then as you approach that kitchen, like kind of that great room, it just opens up. And like you said, you have those wood beams. Love the 24-foot sliders on some of those models where you just really extend that interior living to the outside and just really open it up, especially if you have that pool area. So absolutely. And thank you for kind of helping us understand what that tier 2, the upgrades have. So what exactly is a tier 3? Well, tier 1 is entry level. Tier 2 is semi-custom, where you can make a few structural changes where allowed. That makes tier 3 a fully custom home builder. It's rare to find this custom home builder in a community setting with the setup of a master plan community, but it does exist, I'll bet, for very high luxury, however. The other scenario where you will find custom homes is throughout the city. Most areas in the city are older areas with older homes. Some areas are historic areas with century-old homes, and as you move out from the center of the city, you'll find mid-century even into the 60s and 70s. Within these pockets of older areas, you'll find people buying up the older, smaller homes, tearing them down, and building custom homes. It's the only way you can get a newer, custom-built home in the city, but you will find trading out location for a controlled community vibe. Neo Homes is a boutique custom builder in town, and they purchased lots, then build homes to your liking, or they can build homes on your lot. They have 3 styles to choose from: modern, farmhouse, and bungalow. As you can see, they are on the luxury side of things, and their price range at the moment is from $1.5 million to around $3 million. If you're interested in this type of home, you can reach out to my team anytime, and we can connect you with a handful of different builders and assist you in the custom building process as well. While I love the charm of older homes, there truly is nothing like a brand new home. However, as I just showed you, there's a process to getting it right. If you're in the market for a new construction home in Tampa in 2024, give my team a shout, because we have our finger on the pulse and we would love to help you and your family find your next home. Make sure to subscribe, and we will catch you on the next video. I messed it up.